All right. So this is a better question. This changes the argument a little bit because if you're taking one of those companies out of the way, and I'm going to explain why the process should be different. Don't go through a solar sale company. So do it yourself, but don't install it yourself, right? Like find a good contractor. As a lot of people have talked about, some of these companies will void your roof warranty, so you're going to end up costing yourself more money. But the comment here: do you recommend to buy solar panels outright without a loan? Generally interested in thinking about it within a few years. So as with any green technology, if you're going to use it, keep in mind that you're doing it for your own sake, because buying green for the environment isn't going to make much of a difference. And there's been numerous videos talking about how a lot of companies that are messing up the environment are shifting the blame onto consumers and telling you if you just don't use plastic bags, if you recycle, it's going to help everything, and it makes a minor dent. But the argument for solar is if you do it yourself, is it going to be better? And the answer is probably yes, if you have the full financing for it. Now, the break even is probably going to vary depending. You might do better off because you're going to get to retain your tax credit off of that, right? And so average tax credit, I think, is like 10 grand. So if you're spending 30 to get in, you're going to get 10 back on that. So you can reinvest that maybe in other technology in your house, but do research to make sure that you're getting the right equipment. If it's batteries that you're installing for stuff, make sure that you're getting good capacity batteries. Find out what the cost of replacement is, how often you have to replace those. Understand the cost. A lot of people are not paying attention to the cost. When do you have to replace your solar panels? If you're doing them yourself, are they insured with your home, or do you have to insure them separately if there's hail damage or other damage done to those? Those are the kind of things to look into. Can solar be efficient for your home? Yes, but it depends on what you're doing. Also look into what your payback rate is. So if you're not using the electricity you're producing, your utility company will pay you. Now I checked here where I'm at in Colorado. It's it's 2 cents. Sorry, I was gonna say 0.02. It's 2 cents per kilowatt hour. And looking at it, it looks like you produce that in a day. Here anyway, in Colorado. So if it's going to cover the cost of all your electric in your house, you could probably eliminate your electric bill. I say probably because you're still going to have times where you may need to use grid electricity. Would it reduce? Yes. Now, other people are arguing in the comment section on the video I did about how they're making money. It also depends on the area. California is an area that people talked about where they said it's break even with 7 years. California has a lot more incentives, though. Not every state does. Colorado does not have that many incentives. And you're probably going to be worse off in an area like Texas or Florida where they don't have a lot of incentives for that. So the area really matters. But if you're going to do it yourself, it may be better, but you're going to have to look into those rates. I would not do the loan just because you're putting a second mortgage on your property. That's what the loan is. And if you're in a pinch and you need to sell your property, the advantage of selling the property is kind of gone if you're going to have that second mortgage payoff, because you're looking at what, $20,000 and some change? Plus, is somebody going to want to buy the house knowing they're going to have to replace those panels and the batteries? I don't think a lot of people are talking about that either. So this does change the argument a little bit because you're looking at different terms. But as with anything, anybody I talk to, I always tell them, if you're going to do something that's environmentally friendly and green, do it because you want to, not because you're expecting that it's going to make you money or it's going to reduce anything significantly. In your case, if you're doing it yourself, it may, but what's your offset for the $20,000 you're putting out? Like, how much of your utility bill are you going to, if it's at zero, if you're not paying utilities anymore, how many years without paying utilities is it going to cost you before you offset that amount? That's like a basic factor. There's other stuff in too, again, cost of batteries and stuff. So make sure you're looking at all the aspects of the install, maintenance, upkeep, insurance you may have to have for that. All of those things are going to matter. And they're not going to tell you that when they install solar. These professional companies are going to tell you that, oh, you're going to save so much money and you're going to make money off the grid. Those are things that you need to look at. Also, solar companies are going to have a markup. You may be able to save money by using an independent contractor to get your panels installed, someone that does solar install but isn't with these companies, because their main mode of making money will be to install the panels and system for you, not try to get the tax credit from you. And definitely shop around. You should give, like any project you're going to do, get multiple bids. If you've never done anything to have your home updated, even if you're getting a heater replaced, you should be getting 3-4 bids to see what the cost is going to be and be comparing the furnaces you're going to get, for example. Same with solar. Ask around, what panels should you get? What are really good panels? What are they rated at? What's the cost? Things like that, and then look into there. So that's the answer I have for you. If you have more specific questions, I'd be glad to answer. Let me know.